Greetings from Coney Island. I'm Dick D. Ziggin, the permanently unelected mayor of Coney Island's amusement and tourism zone. With it, for it, never against it. Thank you for joining me today for another one of my fireside chats. Frankly, it's too damn hot to light a fire, so there's the fire pit that technically makes this a fireside chat. But let's get to what's exciting. What's exciting is that for the first time in my new YouTube channel, I actually have a guest. I am so happy to introduce you to my good friend, Trav S.D. He is an actor, he is a performer, he's a scholar, he's directed one of my plays, he writes many books, he can tell you about his social media site, and let me turn it over to Travis. Nothing was prepared. I did not submit questions that he has to ask me. This is all going to be uncut. This is all going to be unscripted, and let's see what happens. Travis.
And silly me, I thought I was booked as a guest. It turns out that I'm the interviewer, but that's good because I copy you in all things, Dick Ziggin, and I want a website just like yours, and this is good practice. I'm very happy that we chose to be out here with the non-fire globe.
Yeah, I don't need to be any hotter today. I'm sorry I cannot offer you marshmallows.
I wish that it had little motorcycles zoom in like the globe of death. It has that look. So we're wearing silly hats, but I think we're going to start out with kind of a serious conversation. And my train of thought goes like this. You mentioned fireside chats.
Yes.
Makes me think of FDR.
Oh, what a great president. Yes.
And FDR was president.
For 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. He got to be pretty old given those
He did,
jobs.
indeed. In fact,
he died in office.
My late ex-father-in-law, who was very old, saw him when he was campaigning on that last 4th term, and he looked like death warmed over.
More than Joe Biden.
More than Joe Biden, and that's our segue now. I'm going to play George Stephanopoulos now. What do you...
Just for the record, Joe Biden is 81, I'm 71.
All right, and you look 61.
Oh, thank you.
You don't look a day over 61. As George Stephanopoulos, what do you say to the listeners and the fans who might be a little concerned about health problems and your ability to serve as the permanent, unelected, unofficial mayor of Coney Island?
Well, okay, let me be more forthcoming than President Joe Biden. So right off the top, I will admit that I see a neurologist every 3 months, and that's been going on for years. Many people have noticed, especially in these videos, that my hands shake. I do not, let me repeat, I do not have Parkinson's disease. I have a medical condition called essential tremors. It is heredity. It is...
Hereditary.
Boy, I'm having a Joe Biden moment.
Hereditary.
It's hereditary,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
It is not progressively worsening. It does not affect the brain. My grandfather had it. My brother has it. I take a medication called Primidone. I take a Primidone pill every night. I pride myself on my ability to shave, which I did not do today. And my handwriting has become atrocious.
But it's basically just a tremor.
Yes.
The thing you treat and, yeah.
But I will admit I have had other health issues. I am a prostate cancer survivor. I finished radiation treatments a little over a year ago. And I get tested every 3 months as to whether cancer is coming back. And for over a year now, my blood tests keep coming back 0.04, which is essentially no sign of cancer whatsoever. So my hands tremor. I'm a cancer survivor. While we're talking, this is a recent addition to my look. It maybe is a dapper cane, but I use it as a cane nonetheless.
It fits your character and it goes with your hat.
But I have pretty bad arthritis in my right hip, but I'm not immobile. Doctors will suggest you get a hip replacement operation when you could hardly walk 1 block. I don't do it all the time. I did it at the Mermaid parade. Sometimes when I'm running around Manhattan, I will walk up to 4 miles in a day, which for somebody with severe arthritis, I think I'm doing pretty good.
There are plenty of people without arthritis.
So those are my issues. So to the question as to whether or not I am fit to serve the office of the permanently unelected mayor of Coney Island, first off, what part of permanent do you not understand? I think that means until I'm fed up with it or die. There are elections coming up this year, but I pride myself on being an unelected mayor, so I don't run. I just act as if I were a mayor of some kind.
The Supreme Court will back you up on this.
Yes.
So they're in favor of monarchy.
I have immunity for calling myself a mayor.
Are you still planning? Do you still want Coney Island to secede from the United States? That was your platform for a while, I know.
Yeah, I like that idea, and particularly the way America is heading. Don't you all want to succeed? Don't you all potentially want to succeed from this republic that is, we might be watching the last season of the United States of America.
That's too true to be funny,
Yes.
Dick.
But I model myself after the giants who came before me. So I'm a big fan of Emperor Norton of San Francisco, who declared himself Emperor of San Francisco during the Gold Rush days. And I was going to make another point, but I'm having a Joe Biden movement.
Aaron Burr, I think, wanted his own nation.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's the Conch Republic, Key West at one point, humorously declared themselves no longer part of the United States of America and issued passports.
I was going to point out a famous mayor of Bridgeport, P.T. Barnum.
One of my role models. But even before I was influenced by P.T. Barnum, I grew up on Salem Street in Bridgeport, and when I was very small and my entire universe was Salem Street, it was exciting that every election day, every November, year after year after year growing up, there would be an election day parade in Bridgeport, whether it was a mayoral election or not, because the Socialist Party of Bridgeport would celebrate, and they would have a torchlight parade because Mayor Jasper McLevy, the socialist mayor of Bridgeport, lived on my block. when I got older, let's say about 7 or 8 or 9 years old, then my world expanded beyond Salem Street, and I became aware that Bridgeport's most famous citizen was P.T. Barnum, who was actually mayor of Bridgeport.
He was indeed. Now, I have some questions about what you'll do for Coney. There's a yellow submarine in the canal. What do you intend to do about that?
I am aware of the Yellow Submarine. I got a private boat to take me out to look at it up close. I have talked to NYPD divers who have looked at the boat. I have, like I often do, although I'm not a real mayor, I seem to amuse politicians and they listen to me. And if I'm bright and make suggestions, I get a hearing anyway. I tried to convince the then director of the New York Aquarium and the NYPD divers to secretly, without permission, tow the Yellow Submarine from the creek where it is slowly deteriorating, and I urged them to just pull it around to this side of the island and drag it up onto the beach in front of the aquarium. But
you know, when they want to do stuff,
happen.
Giuliani knocked down the Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
He didn't ask anyone's permission. So, what else? You were talking earlier about the blue fireworks. What's that all about?
So, I'm in a transition period. Without going into any details, 2 years ago I was fired by the nonprofit I founded and ran for 40 years, yada, yada, yada. Then we reach a settlement, and that all gets worked out on paper. And instead of being able to catch my breath and figure things out, I'm immediately diagnosed with cancer. So when the cancer was done, really just like a year and a half ago, I started trying to figure out how to reintroduce myself and what I wanted to be as an artist, what I wanted to continue to be in Coney Island, because I never ever once, even before I was fired, expressed any interest in retiring. So now I'm not sick anymore. I've thought about things quite a bit. I have started a small private company called Funhouse Philosophers. And Funhouse Philosophers is doing some small projects in Coney Island because I want to keep doing things in Coney Island. So I still get to run March in the Mermaid Parade, which I did just a few weeks ago. And I still get to especially run and produce the ribbon cutting pageant at the end of the parade, which cost me some money and some organization. So this year I did that. The end of this month, July, I am producing 2 pop-up sideshows at the Sandbar in Coney Island, both of which will star that international TV star, Jelly Boy the Clown, who is just going international thanks to America's Got Talent. He got 4 yeses his first appearance. I feel confident he will be back in the competition.
And he has a new book out, new memoir.
Thank you for mentioning that, because on Saturday, not Friday like I said in one of these other chats, on Saturday, August 20th at the Sandbar at 8 p.m., The sideshow group, the Jelly Boy and his brother Matt run, the Squiddling Brothers are doing a show which I will introduce. It will also be a book signing party that all of his friends can get that famous guy's autograph. And then a week later, again on a Saturday, not a Friday, Saturday, July 27th, I've tweaked the idea for my pop-up sideshow, which last year made 2 appearances as the Buccaneer Freak Show. But now that I've convinced in my Svengoolie ways, I've convinced the artist Marie Roberts to paint a new banner. From now on, my sideshow endeavors, as many as there might be, will be called the Seaweed Circus Sideshow. And that will also star Jelly Boy the Clown, Jelly Boy the Clown, Rob Romeo, Sage Sovereign, Insectivora, Abracadabra, and myself. So there were those 2 events. But my big event in Coney Island, where I really want to reintroduce myself as Coney Island's long-term artist in residence, I'm going all arty and influenced by the minimalist artist Dan Flavin, who would go to hardware stores and buy fluorescent bulbs and units and lean them on a wall in an empty gallery and do beautiful color hues. Thinking about Dan Flavin, I will be producing on Friday night, August 23rd, 9:45 p.m., the world's first 100% blue fireworks show. Blue is the most expensive color. So piggybacking on top of the weekly fireworks that the Alliance for Coney Island puts on. And on a contract for weekly fireworks, I think each week their fireworks show costs maybe $15,000, $18,000. On top of that, they're generously letting me take one of their slots that they've paid for. I've written a check for an extra $10,000 to take away any color but blue.
Does the color have a significance to you? Why blue?
Why blue? Because it's my blue period. Because it's the most expensive color, the rarest color, and doesn't Coney Island deserve the best and the most expensive?
I do indeed.
And because in my new way of thinking of myself more as an artist, I think about the sky, I think about fireworks, and I think about in the summertime how much we love the blue sky and the sunshine, and then it gets dark. And fireworks are about painting the sky. And from my point of view, I want to bring back that blue. And you could shoot it up there and just like a swash of paint. And it won't last, but I wanted to play with putting the blue back in the sky.
How come they call you Honest John? They don't. That just popped into my head. That's in a W.C. Fields movie.
Yes.
But how come they call you Honest John? If I'm not incorrect, Jelly Boy's book is published by Jim Moores?
Yes, it is.
He also published this book, Rose's Royal Midgets. It's not my most recent book.
Boy, who wrote the text in there?
Well, the lion's share is by moi, Trav S.D. But there's other...
Your name is moi?
It is. It's really...
I thought it was Honest John. This Honest John.
And James Taylor wrote the foreword.
Yes.
It's my most sort of Coney-themed book, so I thought that would be the one I would plug. Anything we forgot to talk about?
Well, yeah. So a little bit divided going further. I very much want to spend a lot of the years I have left pursuing my sometimes neglected craft as a playwright. Um, I was thrilled last year when I applied to New York State Council on the Arts for an individual playwriting commission. And those are hard to get. All the young MFA students compete for them. I haven't applied for anything playwriting wise, and first time out, I got a $10,000 grant from New York State Council on the Arts to write a new rock opera. Now I just have to write it because I'm obliged to do reading of the first draft in December. So right after the last blue fireworks is shot off in August, I'll be home writing.
How are you allowed to tell us what the play's about?
It will be the third in my recent mature playwriting, my third rock opera. And it is called Open the Door, Richard, influenced by the novelty hit song in the late 1940s called Open the Door, Richard, that my mother used to sing.
Dusty Fletcher.
Dusty Fletcher was a very prominent black vaudeville burlesque performer when segregation was still going. He was very prominent in what they called the Chitlin circuit.
He had a hat just like that, by the way.
So it's going to begin with the influence of Dusty Fletcher, but the entire rock opera will be a play about disgruntled, baggy pants burlesque performers.
Sounds like my cup of tea. Okay.
What else? What do you want to know? What do the people want to know?
Oh, well, I just wrote a new book, The Marx Brothers Miscellany.
Yes.
So that's out. It kind of came out quietly, and we had a big Marx Brothers festival at the Lambs Club a few weeks back. We had Robert Klein come and perform, and Austin Pendleton wrote the foreword to my new book, and Adam Gopnik from the New Yorker came, and so that was exciting. And now my fall is going to be about plugging that and having events around that.
Now, there's, I believe, an annual Marx Fest.
It's more like
it will not happen necessarily next
decadal, roughly. The other one was 2014, and this one was
obviously this year. You had the advantage of there were just so many Marx Brothers fans.
Indeed.
You have a built-in audience.
Yeah.
You have performers dying to go on stage.
Unfortunately, I latched myself to Gummo, and so it doesn't do me a lot of good. But there are still a lot of Marx Brothers fans, mostly Groucho.
Talking about theater, boy, I mean, if my memory still works a little bit, now I'm remembering you directed one of my plays at La Mama once.
I did indeed. A Dead End Dummy. That was exciting. And it
was good?
It was good. There's a theme through this show. It had ventriloquism, and it had Scott Baker, as I recall, and who else?
Oh, there was a woman who was an incredible...
Little Baby Bree, the wonderful singer Little Baby Bree was in it.
And then there was some guy who played a nostalgia radio host.
Oh, you mean this schmug?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. You changed your name again?
Yeah.
Mr. Schmug.
I think it's a frequent thing that happens to me when I'm directing something and we lose a cast member. I think that's what happened. And then I had to jump in and play the part, which I was happy to do.
So what else is happening in the theater world? For instance, because I'm trying to work my way into not just being a Coney Island guy, but remembering I'm a playwright and establishing some bona fides. For the first time in decades, I watched the Tony Awards. And I see Stereophonic walk away with everything. It comes from Playwrights Horizon, not a shabby off-Broadway theater, perhaps one of the most reputable ones. And like they're cutting staff and like cutting their budget like 30%. What's going on with?
Oh, I'm not an inside man. I've been out of the theater for a while. I do know that there's a sad trend.
You used to be Mr. Indie Theater.
I did, and I wrote for The Voice and I wrote for American Theater, but that goes back.
And everybody died.
And basically, well, yeah, all the publications died. That's for sure. I don't know what it is. I do know, and if you want to get real political, the CEOs of a lot of not-for-profits make way too much money, and they end up cutting, firing people, laying people off, downsizing rather than.
I did get paid when I was running Coney Island, USA.
Well, of course.
And I did have to fire a few people.
Yeah. Wait, one of them was me. God damn it, Dick, I forget all about that. This interview is over. Over.
So what, I owe you $20?
That was about what I was getting, I think. Anything else? Well, we've exhausted a lot of things.
What do the people want to know?
I'm not in touch with the people. Oh, yeah. I've asked all my questions.
Okay. So, for you people out there, I'm trying to reintroduce myself and stay connected to Coney Island. I still live in Coney Island. We're in the Rose Garden of the mayor's mansion, which is at a secret address in Coney Island. But people have known me for over 40 years as being the founder of Coney Island, USA. I'm trying to just tweak that a little bit, that perhaps I'm the long-term artist in residence of Coney Island.
The geographic region.
I'm not.
The NABE.
There's a lot of controversy in the NABE. Controversy, particularly about the casino proposal, and I understand at minimum, from my point of view, there's a real need to address parking and traffic, even though I am very strongly in favor of bringing a casino in.
And things like sewage and water, right? Doesn't there need to be some investment in that to get?
No, that basically Bloomberg took care of when he did the
great,
zoning.
right. Yeah.
So, when's this heat wave gonna break? Is it hot enough for you? Is it hot enough for you all? So if we're wrapping up, hey there, talking to you. As nice as it is that you're watching this, it would really encourage me if you would subscribe to the channel. I want to keep building the channel. That's a way that this aging guy, not as old as Joe Biden, he's got a whole decade on me. But I am aging, I'm having trouble working, and I don't have a venue where you can just walk in the door and find me the way you've been able to do for 40 years. So doing these weekly or more frequently fireside chats is an attempt to deal with that and explain myself and bring attention to the things I'm doing. I'm not giving up on Coney Island. I'm going to pursue my playwriting in Manhattan, but obviously with pop-up sideshows and the world's first 100% blue fireworks show, I'm going to keep trying to do the peculiar things I do in Coney Island.
Here, here.
Thank you. Wish you all were here, and see you soon, real soon on the YouTube channel. And thank you to Ed for making this all happen behind the camera. Bye. Wave bye.